Welcome, 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 my friends, to another edition of More Bad News, brought to you, as always, by Camel Cigarettes. Take the Camel's Challenge, smoke Camels for 30 days, and see for yourself what a difference this product can make in your life. Well, my friends, for me, it's been a difficult 2 weeks. 2 weeks ago, I brought Bella into the vet to euthanize her, and came back. And the two little cats, not these two back here, but the two little ones who were very attached to her, immediately started vomiting and stopped eating, and they've been sick. They're finally getting over it and getting back. But at 76, mortality is all around me. I mean, I've been burying, losing people who were very close to me, friends, colleagues, and then the people just in entertainment, the kind of people you grew up with and and they're, and then you hear that they're now gone. So as you get on to my age, you begin to see the people of your generation wither away. So I was talking to my rabbi about this, and he recommended this book. Let me share my screen for a moment, and I'll. It's on being mortal, by Atul Gawande. And what I would recommend is he has there's a Frontline, PBS Frontline is a wonderful series, and they have an hour-long special on his book, on him, and it's very personal. And he talks. His father is there. His father's dying, and his father passes away in the middle of the making of this documentary, along with a number of other people who are at end of life. And he is talking about the difficulty that we have in talking about our mortality and end of life issues. It seems to me this ties in very much to the anxieties that we feel today, because this is very much in our civilization, end of life, end of existence. The termination of our existence as a species is the ultimate end of life, and it's no wonder that it's extremely difficult for us to come to terms with it. It causes a lot of anxiety, and for anxiety, I do have a recommendation. Smoke Camels. It's wonderful for anxiety. You can be worried about your wife is pregnant and she's giving birth, and you're out there in the waiting room, at least in my day, in the 1950s and 60s, and you're smoking and smoking and smoking the whole time that your wife is in labor giving birth. And then when the baby is born, you're drenched in tobacco, the smell of tobacco, and you go in and hold your newborn baby, and and introduce that child to the great world that was America in the 50s and 60s. Can't do that anymore, but you can create at least the whiff of it, if you take up the Camel's Challenge. So it's been, Karen said to me, how do you come up with the bad news? I mean, you have to fill your segment with bad news every week, week after week. Where do so, and it's not easy. There was Trump in Waco, and Netanyahu in Jerusalem. And I want you to know this, so Waco was 30 years ago. David Koresh, the Messiah, the Branch Davidians, gathered his followers together in a complex armed to the teeth to defy the federal government and defy the world. And in the end, 51 people were killed. And in this, conflagration, they burned the whole place down. And it was just, children died. It was just a nightmare and a horror. And Trump has gone there to rally his supporters, because it's, for him, it's life and death. I mean, if he loses, he goes to jail. So he's got nothing to lose. He's calling his supporters to Armageddon, to fight to the end. And in Israel, Netanyahu is the same. He's facing prison, and so he's definitely going to dig in and try, to get through as in any way possible to save his own skin, and calling his supporters to rally around him for a last stand. And who knows? I mean, these things that's I mean, Hitler did that as well. This is what these people do, and they drag us all down with them. So so there was that, and then here I could share just a little image here. Let's go over to this side of the share, and here you go. This is Mississippi. They don't normally have tornadoes like this, but what I was saying about the situation that we're in with climate is that everything is okay until it's not, and then everything is gone, and we have over 100 million people who've been displaced, and more happening all the time, and then and then of course we've got the violence that's breaking out now. The United States is now engaged in military operations in the Middle East again. That's always a good sign. And just what we need right now is, to start, killing some more people. But as you know, I always like to point to more systemic things. And so here, I'll share again. And I will pull up this one. Okay, so this is from Science Magazine. Again, I said, I get most of my bad news from Science Magazine. Maternal child death rates jump, public health. So mortality rates in the US for children, teenagers, and pregnant people grew strikingly in 2021. According to data published this week, the maternal mortality has nearly doubled since 2018. It's doubled since 2018, and increases in 2020 and 2021 for children and teens were the largest in decades. Maternal mortality is defined as death from pregnancy-related causes during pregnancy within 6 weeks or 6 weeks after. It grew from 23.8 deaths per 1,000 live births in 2020 to 32.9 deaths per 1,000 in 2021. But get this, among Blacks, it's 69.9 deaths per 1,000. It's just 2.6 times the rate of a non-Hispanic white mother. So you don't want to mention that in Florida, but but it's a fact. It's the reality, and the reality is that right to life is killing people. That's what it amounts to. So there was that, and then I wanted to share one more thing that I saw this week was a editorial in the New York Times by Dr. Eric Reinhardt. And he's an anthropologist, physical anthropologist, and a surgeon. And he points out that here's the statistics. The one report estimate in 2021, about 117,000 physicians left the workforce, while fewer than 40,000 joined it. 117,000 physicians, walked off the job, it's just in 2021, and only 40,000 young doctors came onto the field. It turns out that doctors are just leaving like teachers. They're leaving in droves. In Michigan, half of the spaces of the positions for teachers goes unfilled, and they're you take anybody who can stand up and chew gum and at the same time, and you hire them to fill these positions. The fact is that the American healthcare system is collapsing, and the reason for that, he says, is very simple. It's that the system is designed to make profits and not designed to take care of people. Many physicians are now finding it difficult to quash the suspicion that our institutions and much of our work inside them primarily serves as a money-making machine. Neither major political party is addressing this issue, but there is this is what something that struck me true about academia and other professions as well. Hospitals are deliberately understaffing, so are universities themselves, and undercutting patient care while sitting on billions of dollars in cash reserves, and little of this new. But doctors sense that our complicity in putting profits over people has grown more difficult to ignore. So I'm going to stop here and come back to do the history part of this, because Leo is right here and he wants to be out. So I'll come back and do part 2 in a moment.